now it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting.
Hey, it's Eric Cornish with WKDQ on a very happy birthday to my co-host here, the Rob.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Congratulations for living another year.
I didn't die. I'm pretty psyched about that. No, I appreciate you saying that. Thanks, Eric.
And as we head into this week, we thought it would be appropriate, since it is my man's birthday over here. There was another birthday that was yesterday.
Right.
Pretty significant in the wrestling world. And
way bigger than mine.
Yeah, and a milestone for one of the greats, and that is Mick Foley, one of the unlikely greats in wrestling, too.
That is a great way to sum up his career. A very unlikely success story.
Absolutely.
But Mick can say that he had a career as successful as the big stars in this business.
Absolutely.
I mean, probably one of the top 15 careers as far as successes go. And when you look at the other guys that share that, you're talking about sculpted gods, you're talking about the all-time greats, the Triple H's, the Ric Flairs, and then you've got Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Dude Love.
Yeah.
It almost seems out of place, but he made this incredible career for himself, mostly during the Attitude Era.
And I gotta say, really, during the Attitude Era, he was one of those stars that really made that what it was.
Right.
And, a lot of people will point to things like, the crazy stunts that he did, or, the death matches that led him up to that point. But I gotta tell you, I tell you what it really was his personality. His personality guided his entire career, and it was something that not a lot of people knew about until, he got into ECW and then finally made that transition to WWE.
It's what all aspiring wrestlers want to think is true in this business, but isn't necessarily always true. But your personality can get you over more so than your body or your repertoire. But he did. He showed that if you do have enough of it and you know how to market it, you know how to utilize it, you can become a world champion among the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, going back, I mean, I followed him from the beginning. Obviously, he had a few runs where he was doing some job matches in WWE, which a little bit before my time. I mean, I guess I was watching but didn't realize it.
One most notably with the British Bulldogs.
That's right. Broke his jaw, I think,
like
with the Dynamite Kid. But I remember him in Memphis. He worked in Memphis a little bit when they were kind of doing the crossover thing with Dallas, and he had some matches with. And actually Austin was there at that time. There was some stuff with Jeff Jarrett, and he was a member of the Stud Stable with Robert Fuller and them. I remember that. Then he made that transition into WCW, where he wasn't really respected, at least not a lot.
Yeah, he came on kind of strong and was put up against some of the biggest babyfaces in the company.
Like Sting, yeah.
Yeah, but it seemed like they didn't want to commit to somebody like Cactus Jack.
Yeah,
at least not seriously.
And I definitely have a memory, and I think it was during that run. If not that run, it might have been Global. He made a brief appearance at Global Wrestling Federation that was the short-lived Dallas promotion. And I remember one of the announcers saying, when he did that flying elbow off the apron, he called it the Hip Buster. And I remember whoever the color guy was saying he didn't come anywhere near to the guy's hip. Like, no, it's busting his own hip. I don't remember who the color guy was on that, but kudos to whoever you were, because I still remember that as a kid, and I'm thinking that's a way to put that over.
Well, he wasn't afraid to hurt himself, but he was also like you mentioned, he did do the hardcore stuff, the death matches, but he also could do comedy. He could also be carried to, or I don't even want to say carried, but he could have great technical matches with people like Triple H, or he could do it all. He was an A+ performer.
Absolutely. I think, Mick, he overcame the odds in so many ways, because I don't see how, someone of his size, his stature, his background in wrestling, in most cases, would be spotted by Vince McMahon and made a huge star. He had to prove himself. Jim Ross was on his side, but it was Vince who really said, after he saw what he had, especially that personality. I mean, he made him part of the corporation, and just everything that happened along the way, changing to Dude Love, coming back, bringing Cactus Jack back. It just added so much. And to be honest with you, one of my favorite runs of Mick Foley was after he retired and became commissioner.
I was going to say, there was the commissioner run, but he had a lot of great moments, especially in the Monday Night War. For example, some that come to mind for me are when he won his first title, and on WCW they told the fans pretty much to tune over and watch that, because that'll put the butts in the seats or whatever Shivani said. So there was that one. He also had, and that's when I believe the turning point was for the Monday Night War, when Raw took the ratings back. And then also the highest rated segment in the history of wrestling.
This Is Your Life, Rock.
This Is Your Life. That still stands, and knowing TV and the way cable is now, that will never be broken.
No, I mean, it's just huge. And I'd say, more of those segments than matches stand out for me. Everybody's going to point to the King of the Ring. I mean, King of the Ring was just brutal.
That was his moment, though.
That was, and it's the moment that everybody points to, and sure, it just shows how crazy this guy is, and he's paying for it, and he'll admit it to this day. But I mean, who would have thought a guy like that, a guy that's willing to go through barbed wire and get set on fire and get thrown off a cell, would continue his career outside of wrestling, being a stand-up comedian, being a best-selling author. Standing up for victims of domestic violence and assault. I mean,
and don't forget being Santa.
And being Santa. I mean, he's done it all, and to me, just like we said, unlikely hero in the world of wrestling, but certainly well respected. And a nice guy. He's been here on the Enhancement Talent.
Yeah, we love Mick. We got a chance to meet him. I met him a few times. Have you met him before, the Santa Claus?
Yeah. There were a couple different times I've been around.
We both met him a couple times, and I've always thought he was such a class act. So it's my pleasure to wish him a very, very happy 50th birthday, Mick.
Yeah, and make sure you share this as well. Hashtag Foley turns 50, because Foley, we appreciate everything that you've done, not only for this business but outside the business. Just a good human being.
Hey, one last thing before we close this, if you don't mind. Sure. I have this theory. I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, I haven't done the homework on this. I believe his fall from the cage is the most replayed segment in the history of wrestling, in my opinion. I can't think of anything that's been replayed more, a single moment in the history of wrestling that has been replayed more than that incredible fall.
I would say one more thing, and that may be Hogan picking up Andre and slamming it.
But you know what? Yeah, that's a great answer.
You're right.
Definitely. So a great salute to a great human being and a fine pro wrestler. Happy 50th, Mick Foley.
And have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we'll leave you with this on the Enhancement.
Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Rob and the Eric on Enhancement Talent. Yeah.